My name is Joey Keller from Friendly Automate, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create personas, dynamic content, segments, and custom pop-ups for them. Let's start. So we're going to create personas based on their website visits, and we're going to create a dynamic content. With this dynamic content, we're going to show only to certain segments. And at the end, we will make sure that they see a pop-up instead of just some kind of static content. So this is a really cool project and very complicated one. So that's why I decided to create this video and not just a static help page. Okay, so let's start with creating those segments. If you look at the contacts, what you can see that each contact has a long visiting history and also different actions. So if someone visits a page, we can create a segment based on that. Now, just for this video, let's assume that we have a website, which is a restaurant, and we have vegetarians, meat lovers, and fish lovers, and we would like to get their email address. We want to offer them a free meal or a free recipe book in exchange for their email. But we want to make sure that we're offering the vegetarian one, the meat lover one, and the fish recipes to the people who almost only eat fish. I know it doesn't make sense, but you know, that's just an example. Okay. So how can we reach out to these people? We have to put these people in the focus. Just imagine that there is a group of people, group of contacts, there is a crowd, and you would like to take them out from the crowd. So you want to focus on them. And that's why the name of this activity is focus. First we're going to create a segment that we can identify this group of people. We can identify them in the crowd. So let's do that. This one will be first vegetarian who doesn't have an email. That's very important because we don't want to try to get the email of those where we already have the email address. And I will look for people who were checking out a certain website on a certain URL on my website. So this one here, we're saving in friendly. So we can easily look for parts of this URL and create segments from it. So if I did my website right, then the vegetarian dish would have a vegetarian piece in the URL. So I can say that they watched a URL which contains vegetarian. And we also don't have their email. That's also another filter what we can set. So the email should be empty. Okay, really cool. So we have our first segment. With this, we can reach out to vegetarians without any problems. Let's do the same thing for the meat lovers as well. So I will duplicate it because I'm super lazy. I'm going to call this meat no email. And for the filter, I will make sure that they're checking out the meat dishes. Let's say meat dish in the email, in the URL. So if, let's say this part is meat dish, that's good enough. So all my meat dishes under that folder, let's say, then this will work just fine. You can also name individual pages here, or you can go for your pricing page. If you are selling stuff by industries, you can look for the industry. Okay, so we have the segment. What we're gonna do with these segments, it's super important. I will not create the fish, by the way, I will just do this too, but you understand how to multiply them. Let's create a campaign based on these segments. And this campaign will be just a simple workflow, a focus workflow. Super simple. In this workflow, what we're going to do is that we first choose the segments. We had here the no email segment. The one will be the meat no email, and the other one, the vegetarian no email. So if anyone goes any of these, we certainly would like to do something to these people. And what should that be? So that should be that we are changing a certain value in their profile. I will just remove this. First, we do a check. we're going to check their contact segment. We're going to check what kind of segment they're in. So if someone is in the meat segment, then this should happen. And if someone is in our vegetarian segment, then something else should happen. So it's really cool because we're pushing them both in and then deciding which one they are. So what we're looking for here is we would like to add the tag to them. And we're going to add focus meat to this guy. Save it. And to this guy, we're going to add vegetarian focus. So focus vegetarian. And then I know I put them in a focus, which means I'm keeping my target on them. And I can take them out from the group. I tag them. So I, like put a little tag, like a sticker on them. I want to talk to these guys. So let's save it. And now we have the opportunity with this campaign and with segmenting, we have the opportunity to put this little tag on people and we can talk to them independently. So how do we, what do we want to talk to them? We would like to show them a focus item. The focus item is like a pop-up. So let's create a new one. I will call it meat focus. I will call it meat pop-up. Sorry, but it just sounds better. Let's go to the builder and we would like to collect data. I already created a form called vegetarian form. I can use the same form for the meat lover as well, because this form only collects the email and the name. It doesn't say that this person is vegetarian. Of course, I could do that, but I didn't. So it's actually pretty cool. So this vegetarian form is very simple. It just says, I want to show a model. So it would say, this is now the meat lover one. So it should say meat recipes 3. I will say 10 free meat dish recipes. Enter your email. So we would send this to them. Enter your email like this. Okay, so they fill this out. And right now this focus item is set that way that we activate it when people are coming on every website. We stop the interaction once they converted. We want to show a model. We could show here a stripe or just like a message, or we can like a takeover page. It's all possible, but I will go for the more like, just this one. Okay, we have this, really cool. We have our meat pop-up. Let's do the same thing for our vegetarian guys as well. I will call just veg pop-up. And I will not say meat recipes because I don't want to make them angry, but I will say vegetarian. Okay, so let's go further here. Just save it. Very cool. So I have now the vegetarian one and I have now the meat one. Let's see how they look. You see, they're both the same. They have the number 4 and number 5. Why is that important? Because you have to use this when you build in the focus item. So if you would use just the script and edit to your website, that focus item will pop up and show. But we don't want to just show it to anyone. We want to show it to those people who we tagged. So let's turn that on our with dynamic content. Dynamic content creates a part of your website, like where you put it here, and this site here, this part, this in-house, this content will be shown to those people who are qualifying in these filters. So it should be not campaign based. Go to the filter and we want to have a tag. And this one, we only want to show to people whose tag is focus meat. This is a meat dynamic content. And I have to add here a name, what we will call dynamically, from our website. And for that, we need to have this part of code. Oops, sorry. This little code here. So this part of the code we have to add, and then it will call this content. Well, this content should be actually the pop-up. So we want to show the pop-up, not this Meet dynamic code. In order to do that, we have to use the following tag. So we have to say focus equals 4. And this is gonna show our Meet dynamic content. This will show our Meet. So we set up everything. We made sure that this is for the focus Meet group. We are showing the pop-up number 4, and we're gonna tie into our website this dynamic content here. So let's see, let's just double check if our focus item number 4 is really the right one. Just hang on for a moment. And the cool thing is I made another one here because I want to make a vegetarian as well, vegetarian dynamic content, and this is how I'm gonna ask for it. Yeah, so the Meet is number 4. So let's create another one, which will be the one for the vegetarian guys. And that will be focus 5, because the 5th focus item number 5, is our vegetarian pop-up. So let's duplicate it. Set the filter properly. So we want to change the focus. We want to change the focus to vegetarian. And this one should be number 5. So I come here, I will save this. And I will change this to 5. And that's going to show our oops, I still have to change the name. I forgot to change the name. And also I think I forgot to change here the parameters. Yes, this one should be vegetarian, veggie, and this should be just vegetarian. Focus. So when I build it in my website, I should also have vegetarian focus. I will add this too under this video, so you are able to check it out and just copy to your website. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have a segment where people are member of the segment if they visit certain number of pages with a certain URL part in it. So if you are selling, for example, ski holidays, then you can add the ski part there. Whatever is meaningful for you, that will create a campaign. And with the campaign, we will add a little tag. We're tagging that person. Dude, you are in focus. We want your email. And then once they convert, then they will be not anymore interesting for us. And we can manage it here by the forms. So I added this form here, this vegetarian form, which actually should be called not vegetarian form, but it should be called focus form, let's say. I will just rename it that it's the recipes. And I added an action here, which is not needed, but we should have an action. We should actually make sure that the person is losing that tag. Why they should lose that tag? Because we don't want them to get into the campaign anymore, because we have already their emails. So we actually know what they're interested in. And we get the email, so we can continue communicating with them. We can add another tag to them because we already have. They're not focused, but they can say they're actually vegetarian or they meat lover, it depending on, you know, what they filled out. So we have all this chain now, and let's see one more time if it's all good. So we have the segment. Oops, I forgot to save that. We have the segment, we're creating them. We have the campaign where we are adding them the right information. Then we are showing the dynamic content, and the dynamic content is invoking our pop-ups. So in order to be really perfect, since we are removing those focus tags, we should still try to give these people some kind of tag which stays later. So in the focus workflow, that's okay that we tag them and they will stay as, you know, the focus tag is added, so we can ask for their emails because we're recognizing the focus tag. We are showing the dynamic content in the focus tag. But maybe it's better to add one more tag and saying that this meat lover. And then later when we remove the focus tag, we will still know that this person is a meat lover and this person is a vegetarian. Okay. So then it will be okay. So that's it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I hope this works out for you. And I wish you the best luck with creating your segments.